Big old hurricane.
Oh, wow. Because, sometimes the hurricane can make it cool for those, like, body surfing, bodyboard type people that, because when you get that double red flag and then the waves are a little bit bigger and it's a little bit more fun.
It was fantastic weather. Rod said you had family members down below Miami.
Yes, they were cruising, but they avoided it, except they couldn't go into Cayman Islands because they had to have boats come out and take you in. It was just too choppy. But the rest of the time was pretty calm waters.
Have you ever cruised before?
Never cruised.
Rod, you've cruised?
I've cruised once, yes.
I've never cruised. Would you recommend cruising?
I would. And you eat well, too.
Ooh, that sounds good. Well, high school football cannot cruise right now. There's 3 weeks left. There's a lot of playoff implications we're going to talk about later. Tonight's show is always brought to you by Ideas Tees, the place in Rutherford County for school spirit wear, screen printing, embroidery, specialty items, and more. Plus a bottle of your officially licensed MTSU Blue Raider merchandise from Raider Tees. For Blue Raider tees, polos, hats, and more, visit their showroom at 910 Ridgely Road. Just turn off Broad Street between Chewy's and Chili's. Ideas Tees can put your logo on just about anything. Stop in and see how they can help you promote your favorite team, workplace, or organization. Find out more online at ideastees.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
At Little Caesars, get a large custom 2-topping pizza for only $7.99 when you order online. Wait, did I just say $7.99? Get out of here! This pizza is only $7.99. No way! This is $7.99? You're joshing me. You're saying this pizza perfection is only $7.99? Well, you're crazy for this. Listen, pirate, stop taking my $7.99 pizza. Choose a large custom 2-topping pizza for the unbelievable price of $7.99 when you order online. Only $7.99. What?
Pizza. Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hi there, 12 and now $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
30, sold it to you. In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850 and let me save you money and time.
Local business owners, you know how important it is to be here for your customers. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I run a small business in Rutherford County too, and I'm here to help you protect your small business. Call me at 615-895-2700.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
I just really appreciate Danny and his whole team. I always feel like I'm going to get great service and the right outcome.
You just don't find any better people.
He's always been very good.
We've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're back. We're going to start off talking about high school fall sports. A lot of things going on. Some things have finished up, and we've got some big games actually tonight. First of all, the Central Magnet Middle School boys cross country team, congratulations to them. They won their third straight TMSAA state title recently at Weekly Park in Clarksville. Coaches Stuart Leach, good friend of mine, and Darcy Leach, his wife, they've won 4 out of the last 5 years, so they've got that program running well. Also, Central Magnets High School girls golf team finished runner-up in the Class AA state tournament. Tied after 36 holes, they went to playoff and fell one short in the playoff hole. Congratulations, Coach Clay Burns. Their golfers, sophomore Anna Powell, sister Lauren Powell, and Emery Mitchell, along with junior Elizabeth Shoemake, and they'll all be back next year for them. Right now, the volleyball teams around the area are playing. Riverdale is on the road because they lost to Blackman. They got to sectionals, both won those early games. Riverdale beat Lebanon, Blackman beat Cookville. So Riverdale and Blackman had to face one another in the semifinals, and the Lady Blaze took that and the championship to stay at home. So Blackman is hosting Cleveland coming up here at 7 o'clock tonight.
No, didn't Riverdale beat Blackman in the district final?
They beat Blackman all year long. All year long. Great games, though. Great games.
Yeah.
But, well, that's what happens like in playoffs. You got to win when it counts.
That's right. That's what it's all about. That's why it's so exciting.
Yep. Are you a volleyball guy?
I've played volleyball as far as like beach volleyball and all that kind of stuff. I think volleyball it can be extremely exciting, and like I said, I enjoyed it when I played. The thing about high school volleyball is you have certain positions that people play, and whereas we would just always be, you couldn't wait till you got rotated around to
be in the front.
Yeah,
so you could jump up.
Yeah, exactly.
Disorganized.
Yeah, exactly. But the cool thing about this is the individual skills that players will display as far as with the kills and the digs and all that kind of stuff. So it really can be a very exciting sport.
I haven't watched a lot until recently. I got to watch Riverdale and I watched Central. I saw Blackman. Those girls are pretty good.
It's a very powerful game.
Oh, it is, yeah, absolutely.
They can leap, and then the power of the ball, and their diving. I mean, it's everything you think about athletics, you see it in the game.
You sure do.
So Riverdale is on the road right now playing East Hamilton. Their game has started. I'm hoping the boss lady sends me a couple of texts so I can give you some updates on how Riverdale's doing, because you want both teams to keep moving on. Eagle also earned a sectional berth. They beat Bledsoe County but fell short to Sell Creek, so they are traveling to East Robertson, another volleyball powerhouse in Class A. So good luck to Riverdale, Blackman, and, of course, Eagle on that. Soccer is also happening tonight. Round 4 of Oakland versus Siegel. Oakland beat Siegel first game this year 2-0. Siegel's won the last two, 2-1, 4-3. And tonight they are playing, I'm assuming they're playing over at Siegel Park is my guess.
I would assume so.
They play at 7 o'clock and looking to move on over to state. Along with Middle Tennessee Christian, they play on Saturday. They're playing Chattanooga and Notre Dame, and that's back to volleyball on those local teams doing that. Also, PCA golfer Isabella Johnson, she won, future University of Tennessee golfer, won her first Division 2A individual state title up in Sevierville recently, so congratulations to her. Rockville and Milligan commit Aiden Sanclair finished 18th to finish out his prep career, so great job, you guys. Now, I want to announce a few kids that have recently signed. Didn't realize it was signing time, but the people we just mentioned, Aiden going to Milligan. Jada Ellison, an Oakland softball player, has signed with Indiana University. Joanna LaForte, Middle Tennessee Christian Soccer, is going to Truett McConnell. Gunnar Waldrop, Riverdale Baseball, is going to Alabama Huntsville. Chase Fernandez from Stewart's Creek is going to Trevecca. And then I came across this young man's name, Caden King from Middle Tennessee Christian. Do you know who Caden King is?
I do not.
Do you know who Brennan King is?
Yeah, sure do.
Mm-hmm. It's his son, I guess.
It's his son. Do you know who, of course, Coach King at Oakland High School was for many years?
Right. Oh, yeah, Randy King.
Randy King.
That's his grandpa.
That's his grandpa. Good group of fellas right there. He's going to Texas A&M.
All right. Yeah.
So congratulations, Caden. I'm a little biased. He went to McFadden. Fantastic kid, fantastic family. Here's your Dodger story. We were talking about Dodgers earlier. So I was over at Oakland for some reason. They were playing in the state, getting ready to play in the state tournament or something, and I'm sitting there at Oakland. I look around and go, that dude looks like Tommy Lasorda. I'll be darned, that's Tommy Lasorda. He was there to watch Brennan back in the day play, and, of course, they drafted Brennan to play for the Dodgers.
Whoosh.
So that, it was pretty cool to see old Tommy there.
I was there too. Why didn't you wave
Were
to
you
me?
really? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw Tommy Lasorda one time at Santa Anita. Yeah.
He's trying to get a horse.
Oh,
get
back
paid.
a horse and get paid. That's right.
Wow. So, again, congratulations to all these young folks, all the things they're doing. Congratulations to those teams. And like I said, we'd like to see some of those teams keep going and move on down the road. All right. I'm going to make y'all GMs for a minute. We're going to move over on down the road to the Titans. Y'all going to be the GMs. Is it time to sell, trade, or are you going to hold pat?
What's their record?
We're sitting at 1-4 after an ugly loss to the Colts. We're getting ready to go to Buffalo and to Detroit. Did you see what Detroit did to Dallas Sunday?
I heard.
41-9 in Dallas. Boy, they are wearing Jerry Jones out about it. Looking at 1-6 in the face.
Okay, so who's leading the division that they're in right now?
The Texans.
Okay, and what's their record?
They're 4-1, maybe, as I'm thinking.
Okay, so they've got a lot of games to make up. And the reason I'm asking these questions is because, in the past, sometimes a 500 record has won the division. So if you think about it, at 1-4, and this is why they play them, because I think we'll talk about Vandy, Alabama here. I'm sure
Absolutely.
very shortly. But this is why they play them. So at 1-4, if you're not real far behind in the division, I think that maybe you hold pat for a few more weeks and, like I said, try to make something happen. That's me. That's my thoughts. I'm an optimist, though.
You holding pat, right?
I'm holding pat. I figure you got a new coach, you got a very young quarterback. McNair, I think it was about 4th, 5th year before he starting.
It was a different world then. Yeah,
right,
it was a totally different world then.
So I think you got to be a little patient, and then you might as well have some targets. And if things really get bad and this just continues, you don't see improvement by your quarterback, then you maybe do the selling.
And I'm not saying that you don't change things, maybe personnel-wise or what have you, within the framework of the team. I don't know that you start trading and that kind of stuff just yet, but I think that, you think about, because one of the things that makes teams good is internal competition. That's one of the things that makes teams good. So you always want to have that internal competition because that makes everybody better. If you're worried about, well, man, if I ain't producing, I'm going to be over there on the pine. And I think that's good. You need to have that healthy fear. As a coach, you want all those players to have that healthy fear that, look, if I'm not getting it done, if I can't do it, I can't stay on the field, that is. So I think that it's important to have internal team competition that makes you better. So don't lose sight of the fact that if I'm the coach, I'm not losing sight of the fact of that is, hey, look, if you can't do it, then somebody else can. And let's see.
Our problem is then we don't have a depth issue. Right now, I've just heard an observation of the offensive line. Right now, the left tackle, left guard, center, and the right guard are looking pretty good, but they have nobody that can step up on the right side, which makes you vulnerable. Once you got a weak spot, that's where they're coming from.
Well,
so it's going to take time to get that depth. It's going to take a year or two more.
It's going to be interesting to see how the next 2 weeks go. There's rumblings coming out of Nashville, as you can imagine. Today, the Titans let 3-time Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams be released. He asked for his release. They let him go. It was a pickup they made during the offseason. Hasn't played a whole lot this year. Wasn't starting. Just wanted the opportunity to contribute. So he's gone. DeAndre Hopkins is a contract a lot of people are looking at across the league as an easy pickup. There's a good chance the next 2 weeks he could be gone. So the rumblings, though, coming out of Nashville, boys, is we're getting ready to start selling and trading, looking for picks. I'm looking at the schedule. I see two possible wins, and that's not good right now the way we're playing. And those two possible wins would be Jacksonville at home and then maybe New England at home. New England's sitting at 1-4, 1-5 as well. But at Buffalo, at Detroit, 1-6. It could get ugly. And when I say ugly, you've already got wide receivers complaining because they're not getting balls thrown to them. What's funny is, the Titans have the number 1 defense in the league. The number 1 defense in the league, and we're 1-4. easily could not be. There's 2 games we could have won. That'd be a big difference if we're sitting at 3-2 versus 1-4. But going to Buffalo, of course, they've made a trade this past week. They got a new wide receiver, Amari Cooper from Cleveland. We know how good Josh Allen is. The Bills are going to be a tough one. The Titans are a 9-point dog if you're a betting person. On the road, you know how the weather could be in Buffalo this time of year, even now. Talking about getting chilly outside. And then, like I said, going to Detroit. So these next 2 weeks are going to be kind of tough with the Titans.
Tough indeed.
Well, the question is, when it gets tough, who gets going? Do we tank? Do we continue to tank? I mean, people are already talking about if we tank and we're in that top 3-4 spot, are we looking at another quarterback? Would you even consider another quarterback right at this point?
I would say give him a little more time, and then we can make that decision. And then while he's playing, if he is not, we're going to have a bad enough record that we can get somebody of high quality.
Well, the bad thing is you mentioned offensive line. If you can't protect him, Callahan's had to change his offense. So he's dinking and dunking, throwing those quick, short passes. Mm-hmm. Well, we're not getting the ball down the field, so we're not going to get, we're not going to get chunk yardage. If you don't get chunk yardage, that means you got to go all the way down the field. Then we're going to get a penalty. We're going to get a sack. That's very tough in the NFL to just move a ball all the way down the field. A lot of guys say, if you can make them go 70, 80 yards, they're going to have to earn it.
Now, if you look at it, we're playing the same kind of ball we played last year that we had. What caused all these changes? I mean, we're one-sided, just running basically, and then we just hope and pray on the pass plays.
When you think about the history of the Tennessee Titans, meaning when they have been in Tennessee, when have they been at their best? When they had a great offensive line, Munchak and Bruce Matthews and those kind of guys. It starts up front. I mean, I don't think that it matters. Well, it does matter who's behind center, but if you can't protect them, Joe Montana, if he didn't have a good offensive line, he wouldn't have been Joe Montana. I mean, that's just how it is. Obviously, talent can shine through, but you have to be able to run the football and protect the quarterback. If you're not good up front, if you don't have a good offensive line, I mean, if you think about all the Super Bowl champs, and I don't know, like I said, I'm old school, I know some of them, but if you think about all the Super Bowl champs, I think every one of them had a good offensive line.
Kansas City's got a pretty good one, that's for sure. All right, moving over to the Preds real quick. If you're a hockey fan, they're 0-3. Nobody in Nashville's winning. Sorry, except for the Vanderbilt Commodores, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Baseball real quick, and we may have to come back to baseball. New York's 2-0 on Cleveland. The Dodgers are 2-1 on Mets. Me and Rob were talking earlier. Do you want to see a Subway Series, or you want to go coast to coast?
Well, being somebody's in their 70s, and I grew up watching TV with just only time we saw it was like the World Series.
Or the Saturday game of the week.
Or Saturday game of the week, that's one time. Black and white. And all I could remember seeing Dodgers and Yankees. And I looked through it. I think I was looking at the dates just to pick up. And they 52, 53, 55, 56. Dodgers and Yankees.
Dodgers and Yankees. Hold that thought, gentlemen. We're going to take a break, come back, and we'll talk more baseball.
Since 1966, Fans Heating and Air has been a symbol of quality for Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. For friendly, complete service on Amana, Bryant, or American Standard heating and air products, Fans will do it all. Sell you your choice of products and then install it with their factory-trained, experienced professional staff. In the unlikely event you need service, Fans will be there with trained technicians. Fans Heating and Air is located on Jayhawk Court. Call 615-893-7930. Fans Heating and Air.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brents, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get two 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas. Middle Tennessee Christian School. Training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're back. We're going to talk a little more baseball. John Dinkins, he's probably glad he's not here because he'd whine about the Braves. But we were talking about Subway Series versus Coast to Coast. Rod, you were talking to us about the Yankees have been in the World Series quite a few times.
Yes, 40 times they've been in the World Series, 27 championships. That's why they have all those statues out there. And you think of
Monument
that's the
Park.
who's who in baseball.
Yeah, so I've got a trivia question for you, Rod. So the Yankees had beaten the Dodgers every time they played in the World Series until 1955.
Right.
So can you name the pitcher who won Game 7 for the Brooklyn Dodgers when they beat the Yankees for the first time ever, 1955? Can you name who won Game 7 for the Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers?
I cannot.
Okay, well, it's Johnny Padres,
Okay.
all right? And one of the reasons why I know Johnny Padres is because there's a racehorse named Johnny Padres. He runs at Santa Anita. I seen him run at Del Mar this year. And
the horse guy pulls out Johnny Padres.
Exactly, yeah.
I think the New York series against, obviously, the Dodgers would more people want to watch it.
Yeah.
No offense to Cleveland, and of course, if it's the Mets, I just think the baseball world would like to see Dodgers Yankees. They want to see, the stars.
It's tradition, and it's the big money of the sport too. I mean, whether you like them or whether you don't. I mean, when you look at the two, and I don't know this for a fact because who's got the two highest payrolls
I was
in the
say, I
major
would
leagues?
dare say they probably do have the two highest payrolls.
Yankees and Dodgers. I mean, so and
Most definitely. Otani, just think what his.
Oh, good Lord, hell, he makes more than doggone.
The Cincinnati Reds.
Exactly.
The whole
more
team.
than Cleveland's.
Yeah, so we'll see. Next week we'll know by next Thursday who's in the World Series, and if you're a baseball fan, you got to pick somebody to root for and root against. So that's
Clark. You know who has won the second most World Series championships?
Well, I would dare say, since you asked me that question, it's probably going to be my Reds.
No.
Oh, really? Is
It's
it the
gonna be my
Cardinals?
Cardinals.
the St. Louis Cardinals.
Won 11.
They won 11.
Yeah. Now, the team with the second most appearances is the Dodgers, 25, and they've won 7 championships.
Yeah, because they've been in a bunch. But like I said, the Yankees beat them a lot of years. And even in the 70s, I think the Yankees beat the Dodgers, and in the 80s maybe, and stuff like that. So they've had several series where the Yankees were victorious over the Dodgers.
Right.
But a lot of those Cardinals was back Dizzy Dean era and stuff like that in the 20s and 30s and stuff like that with some of those guys, Frankie Frisch and
they're one
some
of the
those
few
guys.
teams that actually beat the Yankees quite a bit in World Series play.
Yes.
Well, see, these young bucks over here, they don't
know.
They don't remember that nobody likes the Yankees and nobody likes the Dodgers because they won all the time.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So I don't know if people want to see them or not. That's a good question too.
Too bad John wasn't here. The Braves have won 4 World Series, and they've been in 18. So when they get there, they don't make it.
And I don't, because I think that they probably won when they were the Boston Braves. You think they won when I know they did
won
when
2 in Milwaukee, 57-58.
They got beat in 58. They won in 57. They got beat in 58.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they beat the Yankees in.
They must have won in Boston.
57. Yeah, that was Warren Spahn and Johnny Sane days there.
Yeah, pray for rain.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, moving back to Nashville for a minute, and I can't believe I'm starting with this, but hey, my boss called me today. You always worry when you see your boss's number pop up on your phone, but it was good news. I can't share all that, but I said. When he answered, I said, I'm going to talk about Vandy tonight. He goes, you are? I said, yeah, I'm going to talk about him. He was gone on a cruise recently. He was gone on a cruise, and he's a huge Vandy fan. I mean, he's season ticket holder, and he was on the cruise when Vanderbilt beat Alabama. I laughed at him. I said, you had to leave town for them to beat Alabama. He goes, I don't care. They did.
Yeah, well, if we rewind to the show a few weeks back, I think this was our glorious host here said, we're not going to talk a lot about the Vandy Alabama game because we know what's probably going to happen, and then bam, huh?
Well, Vanderbilt started out 2-0, good for them, and then they lost at Georgia State.
That's what threw it.
Here we go, and then
right.
They got close to Missouri. It's like, dang it, close to Missouri, and I'll be darned, they've beaten Alabama and they've beaten Kentucky the last 2 weeks,
and they should be 6-0.
They should be 6-0.
They should be 6-0. And so this week they play. Who do they play this week?
Ball State.
Okay, all right. So
don't have a letdown against Ball State.
Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say. You remember that term that they come up with a few years ago called a trap game? Where you kind of think about overlooking somebody. This I think defines trap game because that's the whole thing is. Okay, yeah, we're kicking booty in the SEC, but we can't forget about outside the SEC either because they don't want to let down.
Clark Lee said the same thing after that. They started out 2-0 when they turned around and lost to Georgia State. He said, "I think we started listening too much to our clippings."
No, right? Yeah, we're reading the newspaper too much.
Yep. But hey, I mean, hats off again.
Oh, totally, completely.
Beat Alabama at home, and it was a great game. I watched that game.
It was a very physical game, and they took it to Alabama physically.
And that's
good. What impressed me.
That's good news for Vandy, and because I covered Vanderbilt football for a long time, and Woody Woodenhofer, Rod Dowhauer days, those kind of things. Vandy would have just a plethora of close games. I remember one game, LSU come to town. LSU was, I don't know if they were unbeaten, but they were like top 10 ranked and stuff like that. It's 7-0. LSU's winning 7-0 late in the fourth quarter. Vandy scores, so it's 7-6. Woody, being the guy of courage, he said, "Man, we're going for 2. We're going to win this doggone thing." So they line up. They get a delay. Or no, they call a timeout because they're going for 2. Okay, so they don't know what's going on. They call a timeout. They come out of the timeout. They're still going for 2. They get a delay of game penalty. So Woody says, okay, well, we're going to kick it and tie it, and we'll see what happens. The kick gets blocked. They lose 7-6. That's what has happened to Vandy for so many years. So whenever, I was on the way back from Keeneland, and my son was texting me saying, man, I think Vandy might do it. And I'm like thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, I kept waiting for it.
Yeah, but it didn't. Hats off to Vandy. Yeah, congratulations, Commodores.
Well,
yeah, anchor down.
Still, I watched the Kentucky game as well. Vanderbilt's playing, and you would think at a school like Vanderbilt, they're playing smart football. They're not beating themselves, which is what they have to do, and they're making plays.
Mm-hmm. And they got a quarterback who doesn't get rattled. I think he has 1 interception so far this year.
I think that's right.
Yeah, no, he's.
But I mean, he makes throws at different arm angles. He did stuff in both games. I was like, wow.
That's like little Mahomes there.
Yeah, the kid's playing football.
He's playing football. So, again, I will always give credit where credit's will due, but I'll also make fun of them when it's not. Let's talk MTSU. You talked to Coach today, you said. A win's a win. We'll take it.
Coach Mason completes those sentiments exactly. He said, hey, it wasn't real pretty, but we got a W. We needed a W. We got one. One of the things, a couple things, and I enjoy my conversation with Coach Mason because he always gives me these great motivational type things. I'm like thinking, wow, this is why this guy has gotten the jobs that he's gotten, and why he's here now is because, so we had talked about defending a blade of grass. Two of the big plays for MTSU, because they've struggled a little bit defensively, which is a little surprising because Mason, I think, is a very good defensive coach. I think he knows what he's doing on that side of the football, and he's proven that in the past. But the goal line stand was huge, I think, in the first quarter. That was on the opening drive for Kennesaw State, because Kennesaw State's run the ball right down the field. And I'm like thinking, wow, oh man, whoa. But then the goal line stand. So that was huge for them momentum-wise, and he was extremely proud of that because he said, yeah, man, defending a blade of grass, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're trying to do. So we like making those high-energy stops because that's good for the team. Then the second big thing that happened in the first half, and I talked to him about number 6. He's a defensive back, Marvay. His last name escapes me. But anyway, so I'm standing over there on the Kennesaw State sideline, and they've got the ball about the 25-yard line, and the Kennesaw State players are just barking at him. I mean, just 6, you ain't nothing. 6, you're getting beat. 6, they're just dogging him out. So Marvay he's very collected. He ain't saying nothing. He's standing there, focusing on his job, which was to cover this guy. So they throw the ball in the end zone. Marvay makes this miraculous interception. Miraculous. And so then MTSU gets the ball, and they snuff them. Well, in Marvay, he didn't look over at this other sideline. He didn't do none of that. He just went over there and celebrated with his teammates. And MTSU got the ball, and they kind of controlled the game from there on out. But the thing about that is, and this is what Coach Mason says, that was a great play for them because it was about us. It's not about me, because Marvay could have easily taken that personal and gotten rattled internally or whatever, or tried to taunt the other team after he made this big play, but he didn't. He was all about his team, and that's what he said. We have to be about us. It's not about individual stuff. It's about team stuff. And he said we took a big stride in that game with that kind of stuff. So I think he's got him on the right track.
Defense did play well. They've given up 40.5 points per contest, not last week. The other interception, by the way, Danny, was made by a former Oakland player, D.R.A. McDonald. So congratulations to him.
McDonald played a good game. I kind of focus on some of those kids that I know when I'm there. And yes, McDonald played a really good game.
MTSU still continues to struggle on offense. 17 yards on 12 carries. They're putting a lot of pressure on Nick at quarterback, trying to keep them going offensively. So hopefully, again, a win's a win. We'll take it. They are on the road next Wednesday night in this crazy schedule as they head to Jacksonville State. Our final college discussion, of course, is the University of Tennessee. They're playing a team down the road that Vanderbilt beat, the Alabama Crimson Tide, third Saturday in October. Question is, who's going to show up for Tennessee? Is the offense going to show up? Because since we've been gone, we lost at Arkansas. I was scared to death of going to Arkansas. I hate going to Arkansas. And they played like it. It was terrible. It was terrible. Alabama comes in, of course, Jalen Milroe, completing 72% of his passes, 23 touchdowns, 12 passing, 11 rushing. He scares me to death as well. But Tennessee's defense is playing well. Question is, which Alabama team's going to show up? The team that lost at Vanderbilt and struggled against South Carolina. Which Tennessee team's going to show up? The one that's one of the top 5 in the nation in offense, or last 2 weeks, not so much?
I think the key for Tennessee is going to be turnovers. If they don't turn the football over, I think they got a pretty good shot to win, just because Tennessee's defense has been outstanding, and there's an old boy that used to wear the purple and gold named Arion Carter who's been playing really well. I know I know I doubt on this kid. I kind of give him lots of praise, but he deserves it. I mean, the kid has been playing football. The interception he had set up the game time field goal the other night, because Tennessee, they should have lost that game. Florida should have beaten them.
Florida should have beat them.
Yeah, Florida should have beat them. They had them on the ropes early. They just couldn't seal the deal, but Tennessee kind of hung in there, which hopefully that's going to be good for Tennessee's psyche, because how many times has Tennessee come in and kind of outplayed Florida but still lost? It's been what, I don't know what Tennessee's record is over the last, but what is it, like 3-14 in the last 17 years or something like that? So I think that hopefully this is going to be good for Tennessee's psyche, and if they can get things going offensively, look out, But hopefully, like I said, the key to me is is don't turn the football over. That's it.
Now, the one thing I think UT and the Titans both have the same problem. The coach is afraid to really let their quarterback loose. They're just not sure about their decision making, and that's kind of holding them back. Very disappointed though in the offensive line against Arkansas. I mean, they got whipped, and but then again, there was a different defense than they're used to, so they've had time to do it. It's a lot of preparation and prepare the kids for what's up, because a lot of teams are going to use a similar type of defense.
Well, of course, Heupel known for his offensive schemes. In the last couple of weeks, Nico hasn't played well. People are questioning the calls. It's very. I mean, I can tell you what they're going to do. They're going to probably throw on first. They're going to run up the middle on second. Then if they need to, they're going to throw on third. So, I mean, it is very predictable. He tries to put you in mismatches. Funny thing I read this week, Coach DeBoer at Alabama actually met with Coach Heupel back in the day, both being boys from South Dakota, and Coach Heupel went through his offensive philosophy many, many years ago. And so now he's the head quarterback at Alabama. He's under a lot of pressure, too, at Alabama.
Yes.
How would you like to be the first-year coach at Alabama and not make a 12-team playoff?
Well, the thing is, when you follow a dictator, usually the guy who the first guy to follow a dictator gets assassinated. That's what Al McGuire said that years ago. That's a quote from him. And that's when you follow Nick Saban, you have got tremendous pressure. When you think about what they did under Nick Saban, oh my goodness gracious. And I think that, beating Georgia was good. Losing to Vanderbilt's not.
I was going to say that last thing about Vanderbilt. Did you see they played that clip when Saban said, it's tough to play anywhere on the road in the SEC except at Vanderbilt? And they played that clip after the game. It was fantastic, fantastic. We're going to take a break and come back and talk high school football.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency, where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
Pizza. You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan Franz Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan Franz Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan Franz Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranzconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're back in this last segment. We're going to talk high school football. We're at week number 8. We're going to start Division 2 there at the bottom, gentlemen. You got Friendship Christian, PCA, Kings Academy, Middle Tennessee Christian, and Ezo Harding. Middle Tennessee Christian still has a good chance at playoffs. They play Kings Academy this week. They host them. That would give them a chance to give them a leg up on Kings Academy. Quarterback Briggs Boyd is leading their offense, 539 yards passing, 703 yards rushing. They're struggling a little bit on offense, but a chance for them to win and stay in the playoff race. PCA is off this week. They're sitting there again at 2-1. They'll play Ezo Harding next for them. So, again, we'd like to see PCA and MTCS both in the playoff hunt. Rod, right above them, you got the group that Eagles in. Eagles sandwiched right there in the middle. They've got a non-district game. They need a little help. They're sitting at 4th right now, but they've got Huntland right on their heels. Good thing they've beat Huntland. But the Eagles seem to be a pretty good playoff spot as well.
Yes, it looks like they're probably going to get in. They got a tough game this week, but that's not a district game. So
the next week they got to go. They got to host Richland, which is undefeated. That's a tough one. The big game will be week 10 when they go to Cornersville.
Yeah,
got to get ahead there. Danny, on your end, the Dogs are sitting at top, but they've got somebody right beside them.
Oh, I think they're neck and neck. Stewart's Creek and actually Stewart's Creek. If you look at the overall record, I mean, they're 6-1, and they could be 7-0. So the Creek, like we've said this many times, the Creek's rising. That's a term that I've used a lot over the years since Stewart's Creek come into existence. But they really are. So this week, Smyrna at Stewart's Creek, a head knocker. I mean, I'm excited for it because I love high school football, and for years, when it was just a Smyrna and Laverne there, man, that rivalry was, standing room only crowd, people lined up around the fence, cars backed up on the street trying to get in the game, always lots of excitement. That's going to be the same. That's what's going to happen Friday night over there at Stewart's Creek. So it's super exciting.
The winner, of course, will be in the driver's seat in the region. Stewart's Creek after Smyrna has Laverne and McGavick, a little easier road. Smyrna,
much easier road.
Smyrna, of course, after Stewart's Creek, has to play Antioch, which Stewart's Creek beat recently, and then a Cane Ridge team. But this week is huge. That may not even be the right word to say. Now, the Bulldogs have never lost the Mayor's Cup.
They have not. But, I was talking with someone earlier this week, and I think that this maybe Stewart's Creek's, this may be the biggest challenge the Bulldogs are going to face so far in this series. I mean, Stewart's Creek's had some other good teams. There's been some really good games in the series too, but I think that this year Stewart's Creek, I'm going to throw a line out there. I'm going to say that Stewart's Creek would be favored at home. Rod, what's the line on what's the morning line?
I don't know about point line. I'm not better, but you got a good quarterback. Dual threat. You got a good running back, Floyd, and then a really great receiver. So they've got all that weapons, but they've got a good defense. And this is the first time they've had strength, because usually they're more of a running team, and then this year they've really got better balance on it. So this is their chance to take it all.
This may be Coach Cauldell's best overall team. I mean, he's had some very talented players. You mentioned Rod at the running back position the last couple of years, but it may be Coach Cauldell's best overall team. It's going to be a heck of a game.
I think it will, and it comes down to, who's tougher. I think it's going to be Smyrna's toughness. Smyrna's more of a blue collar team. Stewart's Creek has lit up the scoreboard this year. Smyrna really hasn't, but Smyrna's won. So it's going to be the Bulldog toughness versus Stewart's Creek's kind of, and I'm not going to say they're a finesse team because they're not. But still, they are more of lighting up the scoreboard kind of team, and Smyrna's more of a hard knocking team. So we'll see who can impose their will.
Well, I know it was tough. Brian and them set the game schedules early in the season about where they're going to go, and they'll be at Blackman Riverdale tomorrow night, and they're like, man, if we could call 2 games, we would, because that's going to be a great game too.
Well, it is, but Blackman Riverdale. I mean, come on. What do they call that? The backyard brawl?
It's the backyard brawl, the Kreisky Bowl.
Yeah, that
round 3.
Blackman was the first baby from Riverdale. Now we got Rockvale is the next one. So this is the older one.
Now, your game, I think, could be an offensive game, to be honest. Smyrna Stewart's Creek. I think there'll be a lot of points. Riverdale Blackman, it may be 3-0.
Yeah, it's going to be what we call a slobber knocker.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. And I enjoy those old school low scoring football games. I think those are super, super exciting, because people are like, well, how can a 13-10 game be exciting? As exciting as a 35-34 game. Well, it can be.
Yeah. Well, especially Blackman, they don't have quite the offense, I don't think, that Riverdale has. But man, they went toe to toe with Oakland, and they actually just one mistake away. And I knew they had a big line that they could handle in the in line, but they were just great on the outside tackling and just everybody in position.
Yeah, and so what makes this game even more interesting is the Kreisky factor. I mean, that to me that's a great storyline. So, will they wrestle at midfield after the game, or have a foot race, or what's going to happen there?
Well, I know Mom and Dad despise this game because they don't know who to root for. They just kind of sit in the middle. I've talked to Dad before about this. Again, both teams. What
do you mean by middle?
Well,
how do you sit in the middle?
They kind of sit. They're on the field all the time. At the Riverdale games, I see them on the field, so they're on the Riverdale end. If they're at Blackman, they're at the Blackman side. So it's like tomorrow night at Blackman.
They just sit behind the end zone, maybe.
They just sit the end zone out in the middle between both stands, I guess, where they'll be tomorrow night. So they'll have both families on each side, I guess, to pulling for their kids. So that's got to be a tough one. Of course, they're all looking ahead at Oakland above them at 3-0. If Riverdale can get by Blackman, that really adds to that Halloween game over at Riverdale for the region championship. We talked about defense. The Warriors have had 2 straight shutouts and have allowed just 21 total points in the last 5 games, while the Blaze are allowing just 7 points a game over their past 5, including 2 shutouts as well.
And 3 of their games include Oakland, number 1 in state, Ravenwood, number 3 in state, and then Brentwood's up there, pretty close. So they've really had some tough games, and they've really held the score down.
They've probably had the toughest schedule in the region.
Yeah, I mean,
Oakland's played a couple of tough games, but overall, Blackman's had a tough one. We mentioned shutouts. A good guy that we both know from Smyrna Riverdale days is old brother Bobby, who passed away.
Bobby Wells, yeah.
Bobby Wells. Well, Bobby Wells, I don't know if I told this story before, if there was a shutout, he'd bring the defensive boys a biscuit. So they've had 2 shutouts. I got this story from Tamara, and said the boys came in and said, Coach, where's our biscuits at? And so Coach Kreisky's like, you boys are right. I'm going to go get y'all some biscuits for Bobby's sake. And so that was cool, getting them a biscuit for the shutout. Other games, Oakland is heading down to Coffee County. Blowout.
Yes.
Coffee County's struggling. They've played good early on, but once they've got in the region, they've had a hard time. Dwayne Morris has 290 combined yards and 6 TDs in the 2 games he's been back, so sounds like he's back in business. Beach is coming to Siegel. Siegel sitting at 1-6. I saw Beach beat Riverdale, and so that's going to be a tough game from the Stars.
Yeah, Beach's only loss is to Collierville, who's undefeated, out of the West, who beat Houston, last year's state champion, and they only lost by a couple points. So that's a tough team that they're playing.
Siegel's beat up a little bit. I talked to Mr. Creasy during fall break and talking about his football team. Working hard, loves his coaches. Just says we're beat up, and Beach is going to come in. Beaches, they're big and they're physical. Real tough game for the Stars. Rockville on the road, Pope John Paul. They snapped a 4-game winning streak. Coach Guthrie was excited about that, beating Coffee County, which kept Rockville in the playoff discussion. After Pope John Paul, they go to Blackman, which will be a tough game, but then they also go to Siegel. And so you got Oakland, Riverdale, Blackman, and then you got that 4 seed. Will it be Coffee County? So they're a leg up on Coffee County. Can they get through Blackman? Because Blackman won't hurt them. And then can they take care of Siegel and try to squeeze in that fourth?
That's the biggie.
Right, because 2 wins in the region can get you in the playoffs, I would say.
Well, Coffee County's not going to be Oakland. And then they've got to go. They play Blackman, which is another tough game. So I know Rockville doesn't root for Blackman much, but they'll be rooting for them right there in that Week 10 game. Didn't mention Green Hill coming in undefeated, playing a 0-7 Laverne. That won't be pretty, Danny.
It's a tough matchup for the Wolverines.
I mean, the Green Hill undefeated. They've only been held under 35 points during the season. I didn't mention, of course, we talked about Eagle for a second. Loretto is one of the highest scoring teams in the state. They're averaging more than 39 points recently, and so that's going to be a tough matchup. I still think Coach Floyd has done an excellent job with those Eagles this year, though. I mean, I think he's outperformed what a lot of us thought early on.
Without question, because they've been good defensively. So that'll be an interesting game there. It'll be offense versus defense. How good can the Eagle defense stand up?
Yep. Pigskin pick time. Talking about all these teams. We have a new leader, so he's going to get mad at me if I don't mention him. Of course, John Dinkins is going to get mad because I did mention him. The former champion last year, trying to regain his stuff. He's back on top. Brian Barrett's back on top. You had a good fall break week.
Oh, did
Danny.
I did.
13-4 with all these crazy games going on.
Whoosh.
Yeah, you should have put a little more money on that one.
I should have.
All right, the Blackman-Riverdale game we split on. 3 of us went with Blackman, 2 of us went with Riverdale. Stewart's Creek, you went with the Dogs. The rest of us went with Stewart's Creek. We all on top of Oakland. Most of us think Pope John Paul will be a tough out for Rockville. We all agree with Beach, Green Hill. We split on the Eagle Loretta game. We all went pretty much with Middle Tennessee Christian. Danny, you're the only one who went with the Vols. We all rest went with Alabama.
GBO. Come on, Clark. Come on, Clark. I don't know what to say, Clark.
I'm trying to use reverse psychology is what it is.
Well, and that's kind of the thing that I've done sometimes too is, you pick a team because, you're not doing real well. So you pick somebody hoping that they will, kind of fall in there and prove you wrong, or because you're used to being wrong. That's kind of my mantra most of the time.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But I'm actually now knowing that everybody else picked Alabama, I'm really happy I picked Tennessee because that's my only hope of climbing back to respectability in this whole deal is picking games against everybody else.
You did go against the grain on 4 different picks. We all went with Vandy. We all won the middle game. Maybe the Titans will win because we all picked the Bills, but who knows? But it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks as we wind down looking to see what's happening in high school football because you want people locally to get there. Little update on Riverdale. They have lost the first 2 sets in their volleyball match, so it's not looking good for the Lady Warriors on the road. That's the latest update I got from them. So, all right, so you're going to be, obviously, at the Mayor's Cup tomorrow night.
Smyrna Stewart's Creek.
Now, it's at Stewart's Creek. Do you get a special seat there, or are you an outsider?
The folks at Stewart's Creek like me too. I'm a Smyrna graduate. I'll spend time on both sidelines. I will because, like I said, I'm a Smyrna guy, and I'll be there wearing my my sports writer's hat. So I'll be dressed neutrally, and I'll be on both sidelines.
Rod, you and I will both be at Blackman tomorrow night, so y'all will be calling the game with, as always, the award-winning John Dinkins and Brian Barrett from there. Countdown to kickoff starts early, right before kickoff. Make sure you get on there. Rod, what time do y'all normally start countdown to kickoff? I should know that.
I don't know. Whenever Brian says go.
Brian says go.
Yeah.
The other way, if you go to wgnsradio.com/listen to see where you hear your favorite WGNS shows live and on demand and watch Big G TV. I'm still trying to pump Big G TV.
Big G TV is where it's at, man.
So I can be at Stewart's Creek, Smyrna, and I can watch Riverdale and Blackman.
Bam.
On Big G TV. So you can get the best of both worlds depending on where you're at tomorrow night. When we come back, we're going to wrap up this show.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at wgnssports.com.
All right, we're going to wrap this show up. Danny's been on me about my Vol pick, but I'm like him. You got to let Nico loose. Let the boy go. I mean, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose with guns blazing.
Let that joker. I think he's at his best when he's the dual threat, because that's what he is. He's a dual threat quarterback. So I think you need to maximize that. Let him run, let him throw, just let him do it all.
He just looks like a pencil running down that field, though. He just looks somebody's going to hit him and he's going to break in too. I know that's what Hype was thinking. He's going to break into.
Have you seen his volleyball films? I mean,
they show that every game, but it's so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, very athletic.
I mean, he's getting almost his waist up above that net. Speaking of volleyball players,
yeah,
it's crazy,
impressive.
All right, this weekend with WGNS again tomorrow night, Riverdale at Blackman football countdown to kickoff. Whenever Brian says so. And then the football game kicks off right after that. On Saturday at 9 o'clock, it's the Coach's Corner. We'll start with Riverdale. That will be interesting. And then Blackman comes in at 9:30. I don't know. We'll see.
If we don't see a wrestling match at midfield Friday night, maybe we'll see one out here in the lobby, you think?
I might need to come over here Saturday morning just to see. Because Riverdale's at 9, Smyrna's at 9. I mean, there's going to be some good coaches discussion this week because you got Smyrna at 9:15, big game. Blackman at 9:30, Laverne at 9:45, followed by Oakland, Stewart's Creek, Rockville, Eagleville, and, of course, Cougar Corner at 11:15. But I might need to just sit on the couch, get me a biscuit, and watch the Kreisky boys come in on Saturday morning. That'd be a good one.
Yes, sir.
MT Football Coaches Show is on Monday night, and then next Wednesday night we mentioned Middle Tennessee Football is on the road at Jacksonville State. All of that available to you on WGNS. Gentlemen, enjoy, hopefully, 2 really good football games tomorrow night.
I think there's going to be lots of good football tomorrow night.
All right, we'll see you back next Thursday night.